What's good, family? Chief live. Happy New Year. Sounds like an oxymoron, but with what's going on in the world right now, Australia is burning, and the plot of war, World War III, okay, is looming. Mr. Donald Trump says he's stopping the war by killing a military general of Iran. I just can't wrap my brains around that. Looks like Mr. Trump is not going anywhere, even though he's been impeached. The impeachment hasn't been finalized. Looks like it's not going anywhere. One good way, okay, to stay in power, okay, is to wage war. To wage war and create a state of emergency that will ensure him in position of power. Anyway, I find it very, very, stupid of us human beings doing this to ourselves. The world is dying. We are killing the world. And on top of that, we are at each other's necks, wanting to kill each other instead of working together. Kind of reminds me of that TV show on Netflix, The 100. I have been binging on that TV series, Netflix series for a bit now. But yeah, it's just like screenplay. Anyway, welcome to my channel. I am Chief Drino. Regardless, this is my first live stream for 2020. I still want to say happy 2022, everyone. In goodwill, okay, I present to you this live stream, okay. I am not a pessimist, I am an optimist. I hope for, a better world in the future. Okay, I'm hopeful for a better future for humanity, and good will always triumph over evil. Okay, saying this, okay, I don't believe in good or bad. It's the duality of nature. Okay, it is what it is. Positive and negative is what gives life. Okay, so it is what it is. Vishank Rao, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate you coming through. Thank you for your support. Like the stream if you're new, please subscribe, like the stream, and help us grow. I have found a niche. Okay, in 2020, I'm not going to be on live so much. I am getting very, very busy with my occupation as a process engineer, so my hands are very, very tired. I have a lot of reading to do, so a lot of research to do to optimize and improve my my company's productivity. So I won't spend much time on here, but I would instead I'll be coming on with or releasing 5-minute videos and stuff like that. So yeah, if you've seen my recent video trend, you would have noticed. Okay, so is the war declared today? So far we haven't heard anything from Donald Trump as he tweeted all is well. Okay, on my way home from work on the radio, they said Donald Trump tweeted all is well. Okay, it's a good sign. So they're still investigating to assess the damage by the missile strike on two U.S. bases. Okay, we don't know how many people have been killed. We do not know. We do not know the extent of damage on the U.S. military bases. So it's all will be released in the morning. It's currently 5:45 p.m. here in Australia, Wednesday. So tomorrow morning, news will be out on what the assessment is. So as it is, I think war is declared. Okay, Iran is not going to back down. Okay, they're not going to hide in the bunker now. They're out. Everyone is angry. Okay, and this is going to be the war. Okay, that's going to end the USA. Okay, Babylon is going to burn. All right. So as it is, Iran is surrounded by dozens and dozens of U.S. military bases, and U.S. is always ready for war. Okay, US is ready for war. It's the only country in the world, okay, that has spent $750 billion, okay, or has an annual budget of $750 billion to, dedicated to its military. All right, and Russia coming in at 135 or something. China has spent about 120 billion dollars. I mean, who does that? Who does that? U.S. military expenses, okay, supersedes a whole lot of world economies. Okay, majority of Africa's economies, U.S. the amount of money the U.S. spends on its military, you know, exceeds how much the GDP of certain African countries or most African countries put together. You know, so I mean, it's a shame. Okay, Australia is burning. Australia is burning. We need the U.S. military to come help us fight their fires, but rather they're out and about bombing people, killing innocent people, right? And Donald Trump has the nerve to say that he didn't start a war, but he actually stopped a war. I mean, what lunacy is that? So idiotic, right? Very foolish. Clayton Bigsby, thank you for coming on. I appreciate your support. Yeah, congratulations to me, 666, 666 subscribers. Okay, I'm feeling lucky. All right, the devil's number 666. All right, but if you look into it, okay, 666 is actually not the devil's number. It's actually a very, very intelligent form of mathematics. Okay, it's into the fields of conspiracy, which I came across many years ago, but it does not really mean the devil's number. Really, it just you need to be very, very conscious to be able to decipher that number, but it did not really mean that. You just made it 667. Oh, thank you, family. I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you for your support. So yeah, you just broke the 66 lucky spell there, but yeah, I appreciate you. Okay, thank you for helping us grow. So yeah, I mean, uh, so yeah, where was I? I was talking about the how Australia is burning and the US is busy running about starting wars with the fear of World War III coming. Okay, it's gonna spell the doom of the USA. Okay, Babylon will burn. Okay, the whole world can see how manipulative the US is, how much the US has sort of like become a global police, monitoring, okay, and trying to assert its dominion over everyone, okay. But Iran is a country that will not accept that. All right. So Iran is in arms with Russia, is in arms with Turkey, is in arms with Syria, is in arms with China. Okay. No, no. You can't have that. Okay. Um, Also, the Iranian government has declared the U.S. as, or let's say let me put it right. Okay, the Iranian government has declared the U.S. military a terrorist entity. Okay, so we have to be very, very careful with the words we use. Okay, not everyone in the U.S. is an evil person, as I have a lot of friends and family in the U.S. Okay, but the U.S. government is a very, very criminal government. All right, this is a very, very criminal government. Elm City, Happy New Year, sister. How's it going? I like your wall in the back. Yeah, thank you. Boom. All right, so I am representing my country, Australia, and the African Union. Okay, the global unification of everyone of African descent. Okay, this is the African Union. So yeah. So how's it going? How's the new year going? All right. How's the atmosphere in the U.S.? World War III is looming. Okay, Babylon is going to burn. Do you have an African plan? Yeah, if you're from the United States, okay, or the United Snakes, do you have an African plan? Is the US actually going to go to war in Iran? They've been planning this for decades. Okay, they purposefully invaded Iraq so they could invade Iran next. Are they actually going to invade Iran? Actually, can they invade Iran? They dare not. Okay, they dare not. So yeah, I do have some actually I do have some articles to share. It's paradox, to say Happy New Year right now because World War III is looming. Okay, and also, I mean, it's an oxymoron to say Happy New Year as well because nobody is really happy. Okay, we're being choked out here in Australia. Smoke plumes all over. Okay, Melbourne a few days back, 2 days ago. If you've seen my latest video, it was all smoky. You couldn't see past 100 meters. 200 meters. You couldn't see anything beyond that. It was very scary. Like, I mean, I couldn't breathe properly. Most people couldn't breathe properly, so I was indoors all the time. I work, I was in the office. When I came out to shoot that video, I could feel, my lungs were hurting. The smoke was so much in the air. Okay, and it rained a bit that day. Okay, but it's the moisture and the humidity in the air had trapped the smoke. So it wasn't really great. I was filming in the rain or in the showers. It was showering a bit. I was in the showers, and a few occasions I had raindrops in my eye, and it stings. It's like acid rain. So it is really not good. Okay, climate change, global warming is in full effect in Australia. The climate prediction or projection for Australia is very dire. In the next 30 years, by 2050, Australia is going to be very arid. Okay, there's going to be less rainfall in Australia. Western Australia is predicted to be very dry and have desert-like conditions. So majority of Australians are going to be living on the east coast, which is going to be very hot as well. And the east coast is going to be buttered with hurricanes and storms and whatnot. So I mean, the climate for Australia is looks very chaotic. You all would have seen the media coverage and the news and stuff like that. Sometimes I feel like it's over dramatized by CNN and BBC and stuff because we are on the ground here in Australia and it doesn't seem too bad. People are saying that the whole nation needs to be evacuated, but it's not what it is. So you have to be very be mindful of what you consume on the news. Okay, the fires are really bad. It's burnt a lot. Okay, like the Californian fires comes nothing close. The Amazon forest comes nothing close to the Australian fires. But at the same time, you need to be very careful of how you consume your news. You need to read. Okay, you need to read and listen to people like us on the ground who tell you what it is. All right. Right now, the air pollution is more dangerous than the bushfires, albeit the destruction it's caused. It's killed about 500 million animals. Okay, that's very shameful. And our Prime Minister Scott Morrison comes out and saying that Australia, basically he doubles down on his efforts to move Australia from the consumption of fossil fuel into Australia's blessed with sunlight, abundance of sunlight. I mean, we should be pioneers of solar energy and alternative source of energy other than burning fossil fuel. But we have a prime minister who says that Australia is within the climate agreement, climate action agreement, blah blah. But guess what? Australia is burning. Other countries are not. Okay, and he had the guts to go on a holiday in Hawaii whilst Australia is burning. I mean, he faced a lot of misgivings and backlash. Okay, a lot of people are not very happy with him, and coming next election, he might be booted out. He might be booted out even before before his term reaches its limits. Clayton, New World Water, New World Water. What is that? Refresh my mind, family. By Mos Def. I know Mos Def. I love Mos Def. And Yasin Bey, right? So I mean, our waters are being polluted as well, okay, with these smokes and contamination. So I mean, things are not really great for Australia in regards to the climate. It's very disruptive, right? And people lose their lives. It's causing a lot of breathing problems, and a lot of people are developing asthma and breathing related illnesses and stuff like that. So yeah, keep Australia in your prayers, and above all, keep the world in your prayers. Politicians always determine our fate, but with a loud voice, okay, in unity, okay, we have a louder voice than politicians. They're meant to serve us, okay. Politicians are meant to serve us. We're not meant to serve politicians. So education is always the key. I always point it out. Education is the key. Educate yourself, and in the light, okay, you shall find light. All right. Education is always the key. All right. Okay. So without much ado, I am gonna go to some articles. Okay. I came across these articles, and I wanted to share them with you. Donald Trump says that the United States is the best country in the world. In the past couple of days, he's come out saying the US is the best country in the world. But I have proof from Washington Post showing how the US is killing its own citizens. Okay, last year alone, in the year 2019, the police, okay, the US police murdered 931 of its own citizens. Okay, there's no place in the world where the police have murdered its own citizens at that rate. So I mean, you must be kidding. You must be lying to yourself. Okay, if you actually believe the United States is the best country in the world, all right, your government is literally killing you and setting you up for disaster and destruction. All right, so enough of rambling on. Look it up sometime. New World Water is a song by it's about water issues in the world. Yeah, I know of that. I know of that. With the climate change coming, okay, Australia is a few years back, going back 10 years, we had water shortage, and we even had to undergo water rationing. Okay, we can't wash our cars. Okay, it became illegal to wash cars in Australia. It became illegal to water your gardens. Okay, it got so bad we didn't have much water in Australia. Going back 10, maybe 12 years ago. All right, it got so bad we were meant to take showers once a day. All right, so water rationing. So in the next 30 years, we're going to have less and less rainfall in Australia. It's going to spike more and more bushfires and stuff like that. So I mean, I do have an African plane. Do you have an African plane? All right. So yeah, I mean, if it gets too bad, okay, I'm off to Africa, right? I'm off. All right. So I see people joining. If you come through, please like the stream. Happy New Year. Although it sounds like an oxymoron, but Happy New Year still. Okay. I hope you're having a good start of the year. It's still the very early part of the year. Okay. Today's the 8th of January. Yeah. Let us not deceive ourselves. It's not very happy at all. So much that even there was a debate to cancel New Year's Eve celebrations, the fireworks and stuff, because Australia is burning. Starting fireworks can actually set off fires and stuff like that. But regardless, the celebrations went on. Other cities did not celebrate at all. So yeah, I mean, things are not looking good. Believe it or not, okay. Right now we're fighting each other over what security and whatnot. But in the coming future, okay, there's going to be food war and water wars. We're going to be fighting each other over water, which it's just going to be a screenplay of of this movie, this TV series, The 100. Okay. So if you haven't seen The 100, actually go check it out. It's so dope. All right, it's so dope. Right names, thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. Okay, Australia is on fire right now. Yes, it is. Actually, there are 12 fires burning currently still, even though we had some rain. But tomorrow is going to be very hot. Today it was 25 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be very hot. Friday is going to be very, very hot. And, it's going to, increase the fire and increase the fire danger. I've come across people that have lost homes, friends have lost homes and stuff like that. So it's very, very risky, very, very dangerous. I live in a city called Melbourne. Melbourne is my city. And we are actually safe from the bushfires here, but a few suburbs caught fire, and it took a whole day to put them out. But the smoke and the smog is in the air, and our prime minister is doing very little about it. He does not believe in climate change and stuff like that, and he doubles down on what he needs to do for the country in terms of the climate actions and stuff like that, carbon emission actions and reduction and stuff like that. So as advanced as Australia is, we shouldn't be burning fossil fuel. We should be relying on solar panels and solar energy and stuff like that. As I always point out myself, I do have solar panels on my roof. So yeah, I try to embrace alternative energy, or other than support the government that burns fossil fuel for energy. Yeah, the 100. Okay, the 100 TV series, Netflix. It's on Netflix, family. So you can type it, you can Google type it the 100. It's dope. All right, it's really, really dope. So check it out. So I'm gonna go to the articles now, short articles. So I'm gonna read an article on how Iran declares the United States as a terrorist entity, and why everyone needs to side with that. Okay, the United States government is a terrorist government, and also the Australian, the perplexity of the Australian bushfires. So I'm gonna talk about that as well. So my first article here is Iranian MPs declare all of U.S. Military terrorist entity after General Soleimani killing. Okay, so this article was on the January 7th. Okay, but today's the January 8th in Australia. So if you're in the United States on the West Coast, it might still be in January 7th. So it is what it is. So the U.S. armed forces are now regarded as a terrorist organization under an urgent motion by the Iranian lawmakers, who earlier branded the assassination of the Quds Force commander state-sponsored terrorism. All right, state media report. The Iranian MPs adopted a bill on Tuesday calling personnel of the Pentagon, all affiliated companies, institutions, agents, and commanders members of a terrorist entity. So pay attention to the word in there. Okay, so the personnel of the Pentagon, the all affiliated companies, okay, institutions, agents, and commanders, okay, members of a terrorist entity. So the U.S. is very, very loud about terrorism and whatnot, but the U.S. is the biggest terrorist in the world, going about causing war and causing fear in people and striking nations without impunity. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, with impunity. Okay, the bill amends and expands previous legislations which gave a similar designation to U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM. Initiated in April last year, it was a tit-for-tat response to Washington's blacklisting of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, IRGC. The latest designation, however, comes as tensions between Washington and Tehran reach boiling point. It's actually tipping point, explosion point. Okay, following the U.S. assassination of the Quds Command Force commander Qasem Soleimani in Baghdad on Friday. Tehran has vowed to avenge Soleimani's death, a promise that in turn led U.S. President Donald Trump threatening to strike 52 very high-level Iranian cultural and state targets. Iran hit any American interests. So basically, I think there's a typo there. So Iran went ahead and hit two U.S. military bases in Iraq. So we're going to be seeing what's going to develop out of this, okay, by tomorrow. I mean, it's not looking good. The Iran is not going to back down, okay. U.S. has declared war, and Iran is ready to fight it, okay. And Iran has got allies that are ready to help them fight it. Russia, China, Turkey, all these people hate the guts of the American government. So we're going to be seeing very interesting times coming up. And the Australian Prime Minister, I hope he's so out of touch. I hope he does not commit Australian troops in this fight, okay? Because this is not our fight. All right? So, ScoMo, if you're listening, okay, this is not our fight, okay? If you want war so badly, okay, pull yourself by your bootstraps, okay? Shoulder your weapon and go fight your own bloody war, okay? Because I am not signing up to fight World War III for the ego of a politician. I'm not signing up for that, all right? So the Iranian government has reportedly been considering 13 revenge scenarios in retaliation for Soleimani's killing. The semi-official Fars news agency quoted Iranian Supreme National Security Council Secretary Ali Shahkani as saying that even if there is consensus on weakest scenario, carrying it out can be a historic nightmare for the Americans. So they went ahead and carried it. Okay, so Iran had struck 2 U.S. military bases in Iraq. We do not know how many people have been killed. We're still waiting for news to come out. So Richard Roberts, I appreciate you coming through. It's all BS, honestly. which part is BS? Okay, I would like to know which part is BS. Whilst you're at it, please like the stream. Okay, I'd like to know which part is BS. Santiago, gracias. Okay, blessings to the family in Argentina. Thank you for your support. Like the stream whilst you're at it. Subscribe. Okay, I am from Australia. Yeah, well, I'm here. Bam Max 1, I told you last year that 45 would be impeached. Oh yeah, you did. In fact, you did. And I felt like he needed to be impeached, but is he really going to be impeached? Okay. The impeachment hearing is one thing, okay, but actually removing him from office is going to be a very, very difficult task. They need to vote for it in the Senate, and who knows? He must have staged this, okay, to keep him in power, because U.S. at war will guarantee Donald Trump in office for another term. Okay, so it is what it is. Okay, it might be just provocations to start war with Iran to keep Donald Trump in power. So this is what we're seeing. It's a ploy. Okay, it's a ploy by the U.S. government. This is what they always do. The U.S. government is not your friend. Okay, you should know that. Okay, it's a cartel. Okay, it's a cartel controlled by 1% elitists. Okay, global elitists. Okay, 1% billionaires. Okay, they control the U.S. government through the military. All right, and the prison industrial complex. Okay, so this is what it is. So the everyday person, everyday United States citizen is oblivious to what's actually happening. All right, they follow the media hype. Okay, they're not politically astute. Okay, to know what's going on. They lack discernment. Okay, so they can't tell what's actually happening, but unless you read, okay, unless you have an open mind and see the world for what it is, you think the U.S. is an angel, but they are actually very, very evil, the most evil, corrupt entity or government in the world. Okay, so yeah, boom. So Richard Roberts says, yeah, my life is remaining here in the States, and if they force me to go cause draft, I just go to jail. It's whatever. I'm not getting blood on my hands. Exactly. You don't want to join this war, because when you come back, you become mentally disturbed. You become damaged, mentally damaged forever. Here in Australia, okay, whenever the US says jump, we jump. Okay, the US is an ally. I mean, the Australia is an ally to the US. We're forever indebted to the US for saving us from the Japanese invasion in 1945. The Japanese nearly colonized Australia if it wasn't for the US Army. And you know, they don't talk about it much, but there were actually black US soldiers, you know, stationed in Australia. Okay, so much that Australia has a generation of half castes, okay, of African American and Australian women, the Union of African American Soldiers and Australian Women. And it said that the Australian women actually preferred African American soldiers over their white counterparts. But you know, the Australia is forever indebted to the US for saving our country. But you know, when we keep following the US blindly, okay, we will go to hell with them. And sadly, we saw that with the war in Syria, how Australia was shooting down, Australian pilots were shooting down Russian planes and lying about it. Investigations show that Australian soldiers were actually, I mean, Australian, you know, Air Force actually shot down the Russian plane and trying to start war with Russia, a war that we cannot win. But Australia is actually banking on the fact that we're so far away from everybody else, and it would take a long time for war to get to us. If anything, it would be a war on the oceans. It would be a naval battle. But you know, any other country trying to invade Australia would be very, very depleted before getting here. But saying this, okay, Russia has new weapons, okay, that they can deploy without even sending ground troops to invade. Okay, with the just weeks after Russia, not just weeks, days after Russia released the supersonic, no, ultrasonic missile, okay, that can evade missile defense systems. Okay, U.S. is trying to provoke war with Iran. So I mean, this is very, very perilous times, and I mean, if you cannot pray, okay, do not join this war. Okay, have yourself an African plan. Okay, move to Africa, find yourself a safe place to be. The U.S. is not a safe place. Okay, if you see the movie The 100, you know, you don't want to see that happen in real life. All the nukes pointing towards the U.S. You don't want to see that. So yeah, and several war simulations of you know, nuclear war between Russia and the U.S. I mean, no one is going to survive. Okay, no one wins a nuclear war, but looks like we're very, very close to it. So Richard Roberts says, yeah, elites have every country fooled. Honestly, yeah, they haven't fooled me though. Okay, they haven't fooled me, but a lot of people have been fooled. Certainly, a lot of countries are in bed with the US and the elites, because the elites control the banks, control the banking systems, control the economies of the world, and they've got everyone's fingers in their mouth, so they can bite it. Okay, so if they tell you to jump, you must jump. All right, so moving on. There's one thing I want to show you. Okay, whilst you guys are here, I want to show you how evil the U.S. Government is. Every year, this is happening. Okay, it's not going away, and the U.S. government hasn't declared it a state of emergency. So without much ado, I'm gonna share that. Okay, so it's an article from the Washington Post. I have shared it a couple of times, but in 2020, I want to show you how it's been finalized. Okay. So okay, this is it highlighted. Okay, from Washington Post. Okay, fatal force. Okay, 931 people have been shot and killed by the police in 2019. So this is 2019. Okay, at the close of 2019, 931 people have been killed by the U.S. police force. Okay, I don't know where else in the world they do that. Okay, so yeah, so this was updated on the 6th of January, 2020. Okay, so they're still collecting data. Okay, so this might go up. It hasn't gone up in the past couple of days. So it looks like it's stagnated here. Okay, so this is going to be the final figure for police killings in the United States. 931 people have been shot and killed in 2019 alone. Okay, now let's go back to the previous years. Okay, in 2018, it was 992 people were shot and killed by police. Okay, so you can see the figure here going up. Okay, from the year 20. What year does it start? 2018, I think. This is 2015. So 2015 to 2019, they started, documenting this. Okay, and it's stayed the same. Okay, literally, it's stayed the same. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Okay, and couple that with the gun violence in the United States, at least 10,000 people are killed by just gun violence in the United States a year. So I mean, where do you guys get the notion that the United States is the best country in the world? I mean, where do you get that notion? Okay, Australia can't boast of that, but we do not have, at least at the close of the year, maybe 5 people were fatally shot and killed by police. Okay, at least just 5. Japan has zero police fatalities or fatalities by police. Zero, absolutely none. Okay, but here the U.S. murders its own citizens. 931 civilians killed by police in 2019, and I bet a whole lot of them were unarmed as well. So yeah, I mean, it is a shame. Okay, if you do not think the U.S. is the most evil, the U.S. government is the most evil regime in the world, okay, you must be delusional. If you think the U.S. is the best country to be, you must be very, very delusional. All right, you are only a police stop away from being killed. You're only a traffic stop away from being murdered by a cop. All right, so moving on to a more serious problem than World War III. Okay, the climate is becoming chaotic. The Earth is dying. We are killing it. Okay, and evidently, everyone is seeing the images coming out of Australia. So I am going to put proper context to this on my channel. If you're new, please subscribe, like the stream, and share with friends and family, and help the channel grow. So you would be very, very privileged to have me on live right now, because last year I went really, really hard. I did a lot of live streams. This year I won't be doing much of that. I am very, very dedicated to my career at the moment in engineering. So I'm going to be doing 4 minutes, uploads and stuff like that. So, and like I said, I found a niche. So, I'm not going to be doing much of this. So, yeah. So you are really privileged to be on here. So, follow me on Instagram as well. So yeah, check out my Instagram. Okay, at Chidrano. Okay, so you search in Instagram and Giuliano, you find me and you add me on your Instagram. So I'll upload pictures and stuff like that and whatnot. So yeah. All right. So moving on. Australia's burning. Smoke haze all over our cities. New Zealand is even affected. So much that the smoke haze is even felt or seen in Chile, in South America, making the sky gray. So this is a global issue. Don't think it's only Australia. Okay, so it is in the case of nuclear war. You think that you can nuke a country. Okay, look, the U.S. nuked Japan. A few years later, okay, uh, the wind carried the the nuclear radiation. Okay, the cloud, it carried the plume of ash and radiation back to the U.S. and a whole lot of people were killed. A whole lot of U.S. citizens died from cancer. Okay, so don't think that what the US is doing to another country will not affect you. It will definitely affect you. Evidently, you can see it as bushfires, smoke from bushfires in Australia is being carried all the way to South America. So yeah, boom. So article now from AccuWeather from Australia. So it says that Australia bushfires have awakened the fire-breathing dragon of clouds. So there are different type of clouds, and there's this particular cloud. I'm not going to try and okay, let me give it a try. Pyrocumulonimbus. Okay, so this is what it is. I haven't pronounced it well, but I'll give it a go. Okay, so Pyrocumulonimbus. Okay, so this is what it is. It's like the mother of all clouds. Okay, it can be seen rising above, your everyday, your average clouds. Okay, this is what it is. So rising even above nuclear clouds. So it's called the mother of all clouds. Okay, so yeah, a blood red sky herald the arrival of choking ash and acrid smelling smoke. Okay, we'll go with that. Firefighters in Wandalga, situated in southern New South Wales, Australia, rushed to combat the inferno that followed, and a video that emerged from the scene showed them holding the line between the blaze and nearby vehicles. Okay, so roaring winds and the crackling of flames incinerating trees drowned out all the noise as the heat continued to intensify. Plumes of smoke took flight, leaving scorched earth in their wake. Okay, so beautiful literature there. Okay, except it really happened. Okay, when this was going on, it was actually, that was last Friday. It was 43 degrees, 43 degrees Celsius. It was really hot. It was really windy. Okay, and there were thunderstorms, lightning igniting, the forests and dried grassland and bushland. All right, so it was very chaotic. People got struck by lightning as well. So yeah, plumes of smoke took flight, leaving scorched earth in their wake. The wingspan spreads a few miles, a few thousand miles, I suppose, blotting out the sun. In some areas, other fires. From the brush fires, monstrous storms emerged. Okay, the brush fires of Australia have awakened what NASA has dubbed the fire-breathing dragon of clouds. The name of this draconic cloud is Pyrocumulonimbus. Okay, and it's just one of a handful of weather events that intensifies such as those have been ravaging parts of Australia can spawn. Okay, so here are images. So this is the cloud. Let me see if I can. These are the clouds. Okay, this is what it looks like when you're flying in the air. Okay, this is what it looks like in an airplane. Okay, and these clouds can bear. This is the wing of an aircraft. Okay, an airline here. You can see the cloud there, how ominous it looks. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, if nothing scares you, okay, if nothing scares you, this should really scare you. Okay, this is far worse than nuclear bomb. All right. So because this cloud here can even kill anything within its vicinity, because it will suck out all the oxygen around there. It will suck it and kill everything around it. So as you've seen, devastating images. Okay, so as bushfires in Australia intensify, they generate their own weather in the form of pyrocumulus and pyrocumulonimbus clouds. Okay, I'm going to try and continue with that. Some of the fires in Australia have grown quite large. When they become so big, they can generate their own weather. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Dave Samuel said, so two types of clouds are known to come from large wildfires, pyrocumulus and pyrocumulonimbus. The pyrocumulus cloud may form over brush fires due to the intense rising heat. And we're talking about 1,000 degrees Celsius. Okay, 1,000 degrees Celsius, which would be, what would that be? I'm not sure how that is in. Let me do a quick calculation. Okay, in Fahrenheit. Okay, so 1,000 times 1.8. 1,000 times 1.8 plus 32. Okay, so you're looking at 1,832 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, for those of you in the United States, okay, so this is what it is: 1,832 Fahrenheit. Yeah, this is how hot the fires are. Okay, so you come close to it, you'll burn, you die instantly. All right, so yeah. So moving on, so these clouds are similar to cumulonimbus clouds from which typical thunderstorms form. So there is a diagram there which I'll show you in a bit. So pyrocumulonimbus clouds deliver thunderstorms born from intense smoke and fire. So as these clouds rise up, clouds of smoke, as they rise up in the air, they freeze up. They get cold and freeze up, and they generate their own weather. Okay, generating thunderstorms and thunder strike, like dry thunder lightning, which strikes the ground and ignites more fires. So you know, there's no method to that madness when it gets to that stage. So you need warm air in the lower levels of the atmosphere with colder air aloft. Samuel said, of course, a fire will have plenty of warm air in the lower levels of the atmosphere because it generates its own heat, right? This added heat can allow these huge towering clouds to form when there would normally be clear skies. So instantly these clouds develop. Okay, I'll zoom out so you can see a full picture of what it is. All right, so this is a full picture of actually what the cloud looks like. So when it starts burning here, it generates its own clouds. Okay, so smoke plume becomes plume. It cools down. Plume cools down. Stage 3 cloud forms. So as it goes higher, it cools down and generates its own clouds. So we have a downburst. The rain. So this is the rain that we were getting in Melbourne on Monday. Okay, as I stated, as I was filming that recent video of the smog in Melbourne, I could literally feel like, you know, the raindrop on my eye burning. So it was worse. Like it was like an acid rain, which in fact it is acid rain when you put it in context. So this is what it looks like. So the cloud rises up, forms storms, and then generates lightning, okay, and strikes the ground and it starts more fire, you know, ahead of the fire front. So you wouldn't want to be caught in here. Okay, so if you are being told to evacuate, you need to evacuate, depending on where the wind is blowing. So if the wind is blowing this way, this is where the thunderstorm is going to be. Don't think you're safe. You need to leave. You need to leave because this fire here is going to meet this fire here, and you're going to be trapped. Okay, so this happens very, very often in Australia, and people die. People die, family. People die. So my condolences to people that have lost their lives in families in Australia and homes and stuff like that. It's really, really, you know, heartbreaking, right? Really, really gut wrenching and heartbreaking. So while these clouds aren't a new phenomenon, they can still threaten the Australian landscape. They have threatened the Australian landscape. Okay. So if they form over dry land, right? The fire-breathing storm system can generate copious amounts of lightning when it becomes large enough to do so. Someone said, okay, so a lightning strike hitting the ground in dry weather can be enough to start another blaze, adding to the spreading flames. Most of the fires are located along the southern coast of New South Wales and Victoria, and this is where the forest is. Okay, this is where Australia's forests are. So our forest is burning bigger proportions than the Amazon forest. So yeah, bear that in mind. We're talking about millions and millions and millions of acres, far bigger than the Amazon forest, far bigger than the Californian fires put together. Okay, far bigger than the state of Texas. Right. Mind you, Australia is a vast continent. All right. So most of the fires are located along the southern coast of the New South Wales and Victoria, and in a few satellite images, the clouds can be seen taking flight out over the ocean towards New Zealand. So this is what the cloud looks like. It looks very, very chaotic. Okay, it's very, very scary. When you see something like that, you need to flee. You need to run. Okay, so a product of the recent wildfires, this Pyrocumulonimbus looms over Barrow in New South Wales, January 4th. Okay, so these, not again this word, these pyrocumulonimbus clouds aren't the only weather event the bushfires can generate. When a fire is extremely active, burning very hot and in a large area at once, fire nados, so in the form of tornadoes, okay, tornadoes, so whirling fire can form. Okay, so the fire generates strong winds. They are basically in flow, okay, or inflow. Heat rises, so the winds that are sucked into the fire from all directions rise and twist, forming the firenados. Someone said. Okay, so while widespread smoke resulting in poor air quality across large areas and localized strong winds have also been concerned. So as you've seen in my previous video, you would have seen it. So changing winds from an incoming front caused the ravine fire to jump containment lines on Friday, and the bushfire rapidly spread, sparking more evacuations. So this is what it is. Over the last few months, Southern Australia has been usually hot and dry. This is going to be the story of the future of Australia. It's going to be the norm here in Australia. It's going to get worse. So Sydney, which usually receives 3.5 inches of rain in December, recorded only 0.04 of an inch over the last month of 2019. So we're not getting rains. Samuel notes that temperatures were 5.1 degrees above normal for the month as well. November had also been abnormally dry. Similar to California's fire season, wind event preceded the blaze. The wind events are similar to Santa Ana event in Southern California. Samuel said, he might be Jewish or something. There are large mountains across southern Australia. The Australian Alps are in Victoria. The Great Dividing Range runs north to south just inland from the coast of New South Wales and Queensland. The wind downslopes and accelerates as it moves west to east over the mountains towards the coast. And this is where our forests are too. During the high wind events, the relative humidity becomes very low, again similar to Santa Ana winds. Yeah, how are you all doing in the chat there? How's everyone doing in the chat? Asteriot Rex, thank you for joining me. Okay. Derek Deep, thank you for coming through. Ali Adam, thank you, guys. Iranian, we're more scared than you guys are. I know how you feel, family. Ali, I know how you feel. Prayers goes out to you guys. Okay, I hope you guys are safe. I hope this is all just a bluff. Okay, hopefully there's no war. In war, there's no winner. Okay, I always say that if you die fighting for what you love, you've lost. Okay, it doesn't make sense. It's an oxymoron. Okay, it doesn't make sense to die for what you love. Okay, because you're dead. Okay, you're dead. It doesn't make any sense. So preserve your life. Okay, live for what you love. Basically, that's what I'll say to you. So yeah, stay safe, Mr. Ali, and everyone in Iran. All right. So yeah, I hope it does not go too far. I would say, but there are more, consequences, okay, to face than World War III. Our planet is dying. Okay? Our planet is dying. We have a greater enemy than the U.S. and Iran. Okay? Climate change. This year, 2020, is said to be the year where the Earth is closest to the sun. How about that? How about that? Okay. How about that? So, Stereo Rex, you said we actually citizens of the United States, okay, are not terrorists. Your ignorance is showing. Might wanna tag that back in. So, Asterix, you came in late. Okay, I stated before that the U.S. citizens are not to blame. It's the government that's to blame. Okay, I'm not ignorant at all. It shows clearly you're very ignorant. You came in late, and you should have come in or not make any ignorant comment. Okay, so Lady of Lake Fork, how's it going, family? So, what part are you in? Which part of the U.S. do you come from, Asteria, Rex? So, yeah, no pun intended, but the ignorance is on you, family. I stated before, the everyday citizen is not the terrorist. But saying that, okay, you support your government. Okay, the government, the U.S. government, is representative of the people. So if you support your government, if you support Donald Trump, who is causing this, strife in this world by bombing an innocent and killing an innocent person, okay, in the name of national security, all right, you are an accomplice, okay? You comply. You support the United States government. If you support your president, who needs to be impeached and taken out of office. Richard Roberts says the attacks are BS. I didn't sign up for this. I just pay taxes. But mind you, your taxes go. Your taxes are what is spent on these wars. Your taxes funds the wars that the U.S. government fights. Your taxes goes into these weapons, development. Okay, basically your taxes buys the war toys. Okay, for the U.S. government. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So in actuality, okay, majority of U.S. citizens are very, very ignorant. They're very, very highly uneducated about the situations they find themselves in. So if you're paying tax, what are you doing, Mike? You are supporting the government, the very government that supports the police, that has not come out in since 2015, has not come out to denounce the act of the U.S. police force killing its own citizens. 931 citizens, US citizens, were killed by police officers in the year 2019 alone. And previous years, the numbers have been changed. So if you support such a government, I mean, what are you doing? Can't you consider yourself a terrorist because you support a government that is terroristic in nature? So basically guilty by association, right? So it is what it is. So Lady of Lake Fork, I was wondering how the people on the ground are doing from the airplane going down. Which airplane went down? I'm not sure which one you're talking about there. Refresh my mind. Which airplane recently went down? I'm not too sure which airplane you're talking about now. I must have missed that part of the news. So moving on to my Australian climate news. So the wind events. Okay, so I took that already. The wind down slopes accelerate. So I read that the relative humidity becomes very low again, similar to Santa Ana winds. Okay, so yeah, boom. Favorite conditions for fires. So temperatures are near 100 and 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 110. 110 would be bloody 43 degrees Celsius during some of these wind events. Okay, 110 degrees Fahrenheit is about 43 degrees Celsius. In Australia, we do experience temperatures up to about 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, so yeah, this is nothing new. So that's hotter than it ever gets during Santa Ana event in Southern California. Samuel pointed out. So you know, it is what it is. Okay, Australia gets very, very hot. All right, so this is it. Okay, you now have context on how the Australian bushfire starts. Okay, starts off with small fires igniting, going up, forming clouds, coming down in the form of storms, causing its own storms. Lightning strikes the ground, causes more fire in dry conditions, and temperatures can reach levels of about 45 to 50 degrees Celsius, which is about 120, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, so if I got my calculations right. Yeah, so this is the Pyrocumulonimbus cloud in the sky as seen on an airplane. Okay, so this is the wing of an airplane. So this is what you see if you're flying over the skies in Victoria and New South Wales in Australia. So boom. I think there was let's see, Anchor Boy. I am old enough to remember Iran holding around 400 people from the United States. They were kidnapped by Iran. They were going to attack members of the US. One died for Iran. Okay, so it has to be pointed out who started it. Okay, so the US started it, collapsing the Iranian economy. Okay, during the Iranian oil crisis in the 70s. The US collapsed the Iranian oil economy as it did Muammar Gaddafi's Libya's economy and stuff like that. This is what the US does when it can't compete. They sabotage. Okay, so in retaliation to what it is, Iran seized the 400 personnel. Also, the US government staged a coup d'etat in Iran. Okay, killing the Iranian government. Instated the Shah in Iran, which led to the Iranian civil war. Okay, or revolution. Okay, in the 80s, I think, and which basically brought it in the Khomeini. Okay, so this is what it is, right? This is what it is. It's not chemtrail. It's not chemtrail. These are clouds. These are plumes from the bushfires in Australia. So these are not chemtrail at all. So La Verite, La Verite L'Emportera. Is that Spanish? La Verite L'Emportera. It's Spanish, isn't it? So Uncle Boy, Uncle Baby, you said bullshit. It's not bullshit. Okay, you need to read something. Okay, you need to read. Okay, why Iran held the 400 U.S. citizens? It's basically because the U.S. staged a coup d'état by proxy. Okay, in Iran. So just as they did currently. Okay, just as they bombed Iran right now, Iran is obliged. Okay, to take another 400 U.S. citizens as hostage, okay, or have U.S. officials as hostage if there's any in Iran at the moment. So we see history just repeat itself. Uncle Baby says my news report is as fake as CNN. I don't even watch CNN, family. I don't watch CNN. This is facts. Okay, this is facts. This is historical facts. Okay, you believe in the U.S. Okay, 1979. Yeah, I said in the 80s. So 1979. Well, it's close to the 80s, right? So I might not get my dates on point, but I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, right? So don't think that the U.S. has staged over 46 coup d'états in Africa. All right, the U.S. with the aid of France have staged over 46 coup d'états in Africa alone. Right, I can name all the heads of states that were assassinated with the aid of, or at the hands of the U.S. government, CIA. Should I mention Muammar Gaddafi, which recently happened, under our own very eyes? I mean, come on, stop playing games, Uncle Baby. You're playing games, all right? I know you're smarter than this, all right? I know you're smarter than this. Lady of Lake Fork, the plane exploded when it hit the ground. Looked close to the city. I have been looking to see how the people on the ground are doing. Does anyone know? No. That's fake news. Okay, that's fake news. There's been no plane explosion in Australia. There's been no plane accidents in Australia. So wherever you heard that from, okay, it's fake news. All right, it's fake news. So diamond-shaped pit hole. All right, what a name. Like the stream if you're coming through. Okay, at least help my channel grow. Iran about to get Nagasaki. Well, don't be so proud of it. Okay, if Iran nukes, I mean, if the US nukes Iran, okay, Iran has got nukes as well. They're gonna set off their nukes as well. The US is not safe. Okay, Iran has nukes. Iran has allies. Okay, Iran has allies: Turkey, Russia, China. They're all gonna set off their nukes towards the US. US is Babylon. It's gonna burn. Okay, the US is going to burn. All right, don't be so proud of your evil government. Okay, it's not a good thing. All right, your country will burn at the hands of your government. Okay, this will spell the demise of the United States snakes. Okay, an excuse to have a drink there. So, and saying this, okay, you can nuke Iran, but guess what? We live on one planet. We live on one Earth. Guess what? The wind is going to carry the radioactive ash all the way and dump it on the U.S. soil. You're going to die from cancer, mate. You will die from cancer. So don't be so excited about U.S. nuking Iran. It's not going to help anybody. Okay. The wind is going to carry it and rain radioactive rain. Okay, black rain on the United States. All right. So boom. You don't know what happened to the plume, okay, the mushroom cloud from Nagasaki. It all got blown to California. All right. So look into that. Okay, you seem very, very ignorant. So not Australia. If you look at how the winds blow over the world, I don't think it's gonna come to Australia. If Iran is bombed, it's gonna stay in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, you need to study that. Like Lady of Lake Fork. So like I pointed it out, The smoke from Australia has been blown to South America. Similarly, in the northern hemisphere, the winds in the northern hemisphere is going to carry across the northern hemisphere. So the mushroom cloud is going to be carried in the northern hemisphere. So anything in the northern hemisphere is going to die from radiation poisoning. All right. So black rain, your water is going to be polluted, your air is going to be polluted. You know. So I mean, nuclear war is not good for anybody. So yeah. So World War Australian soldier, World War III kills one guy and then started World War One. Yeah, I know that history. The Austrian prince was killed, and that started World War One, didn't it? So World War Three, okay, also killed one person, and but I doubt it. Okay, we can't take the risk of another World War Three. I mean, come on, it's 2019. Okay, it's 2019. You guys need I mean, get your minds right. Okay, stop smoking that, poison, okay, mushroom, and face reality. Okay, okay, it's 2019. It's about time you guys stop being, barbaric. Okay, get smart. The world has bigger problems than a world war. Okay, our planet is dying. Global warming. So what? After fighting World War III, then what? Your planet is gonna die anyways. Nobody lives. It's like the show The 100. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Go check it out. It's on Netflix. The 100. It's dope. All right. You're busy killing yourselves. Nobody will survive. So yeah, saying there's an asteroid might hit Earth in 2039. Apophis might hit Earth in 2039. Everybody's gonna die. So this is the time we need to be working together as a people to save our planet, to save ourselves. Don't be so ignorant and supporting a world war, a foolish war. So sorry, my bad. It's 2020. It's 2020. Like I said, this is my first live stream of 2020, so I'm still, stuck in 2019. But yeah, my apologies. Okay, 2020. Okay, it's 2020. Even better. Okay, Vision 2020. Surprisingly, a lot of people are still blind. They need to go see the doctors. It's 2020. Okay, you need to get your minds right. Okay, you need to wake up to reality and see the world for what it is. Okay, politicians spell the doom for all of us. Okay, politicians are meant to serve us. Okay, we're not meant to serve politicians. So don't be fooled by politicians. Don't let politicians lead you to your slaughter. Any more comments? So Anchor Baby again said, were released on approximately January 20th, 1980, after over 400 days that they were held hostage. Okay. All right, so slightly over a year, right? 1 year, about 1 year, 2 months, 3 months. So again, Uncle Baby said the government that you call evil is free. It's a free nation. We are free, which means we could speak our mind. Of course, you can speak your mind, freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want, but when your freedom of speech becomes an instrument of death, okay, you're guilty. All right. When your freedom of speech kills, okay, you're guilty. Blood is on your hands. All right. So Australian soldier, dude, where you're from? I'm Australian. So Lady of Lake Fork, I think he's Aussie. You're right. I'm Australian. Yeah. All right. So let me share my screen and read some of the comments on that article and tell you how other people feel. Yeah, Uncle Baby, you're late. Okay, I corrected myself. 2020. I corrected myself. But thank you anyways. I appreciate that. You know what it tells me? It tells me you're listening. Okay. Uncle Baby, you're from Lakes Entrance. Dude, what are you talking about? You're very close to the fires in Gippsland. I've been to Lakes Entrance. It's beautiful, very beautiful place. I used to go fishing around there. And they've got the best fish and chips there. I know. Best fish and chips there. So Lakes Entrance, very beautiful part of town. I love it there. So I was there. I used to go surfing when I was a teenager. I used to go surfing, so I drove around a lot along the coast, 90-mile beach. Go surfing. Beautiful, beautiful, good old days, man. So I wanted to share some of the comments on the article from Russian television, okay, RT News. So we'll do that and let you know some of the sentiments of these people. So back again to that article, Iranian PM declares all of U.S. military terrorist entity after General Soleimani was killed or killing. So as it stands, okay, the U.S. is seen as a global terrorist. Okay, it's surprising that they just it just became a world news headline. But dude, we already knew this. Okay, if you read a little bit, you would know this, that the U.S. government is nothing shy of a terroristic government and does terroristic things, and it's of terroristic nature. All right, boom. So going to the comments. So there is over 687 conversations going on this topic here. This article was only released a few hours ago, less than 23 hours ago, right? So here is someone saying that the Iranian government is completely correct when they call the USA armed forces a terrorist entity. It is about time people woke up to this fact about the USA. Its cohorts, its cohorts, sorry, Medrin bar stewards, they are. So, yeah, precisely. Okay, there are a bunch of Medrin bar stewards. More replies here is Zio terrorist entity to be exact. So, obviously, Israel hides in the back of shadows of the U.S. Okay, and does terroristic acts as well, as Donald Trump, basically reversed everything Obama has set out to promote peace. Donald Trump has reversed everything. Okay, Obama struck a deal with a nuclear deal with Iran, promised them that if they stop developing nuclear weapons and stuff like that, he's going to give them money for it. And Iran put the nuclear stuff, I mean nuclear, research and whatnot on hold. And took some sanctions off Iran. Donald Trump came and reversed everything. He reversed everything. So I mean, well, they only made public what we already knew. U.S. is indeed a terrorist entity. So most people agree to this. Okay, most people agree to this. The same world has to agree. Okay, so this has to be my favorite one. Okay, so the sane world has to agree with Iran on this point. Okay? The U.S. government is a terrorist government. Okay, it's doing exactly what terrorists do: go blow up buildings and kill people without provocation. This is what it is. Actually, the U.S. is beyond terroristic in nature, because at least terrorists do things in retaliation. Okay, but the U.S. does things with no provocation at all. They just do it for the sake of what? National security. Okay, yeah. So this is a very sad one. They even threatened historical sites, just like ISIS in Syria and in Egypt as well. So let's see, there's a reply there. Like, seriously, how do you threaten historical sites? They really lost it. Folks were in trouble. This is really ignorant here, but yeah, if you go bombing stuff, you blow up, historical artifacts. So someone says here, Iranian are good people. I know a lot of Iranian people have dated an Iranian girl before. Very, very beautiful people. Yeah. So yes, but theocratic regime that rules them is evil. So ask the families of the 1,500 people killed for protesting the fuel crisis in Iran. But mind you, these fuel prices, were done by the US. It was the US that crushed Iran's economy and basically made Iran's oil worthless. Okay, so who is to blame? It all points back. Okay, all roads lead to Rome, so it all points back. So Soleimani was on a peace mission, something America could not allow to succeed. So I mean, yeah, I mean the devil does not want anything good anyway. So you cannot expect anything good from the devil. So what happened was a terrorism without question. The bombing of a civilian international airport is always terrorism, even if it's done by the US. Anyone could have been there. Yep. But the US doesn't care. Okay, collateral damage. This is what the US is known for doing. Collateral damage. It uses its own citizens as collateral damage. So I don't think you're safe as a US citizen. I mean, the link is in the description box. You can check it out. Okay. So at this point, I'm going in circles now. I'm going over what you guys already know. So DT98, you obviously hate the US. I don't hate the US. My dad is American, idiot. So don't be ignorant. I don't hate the US. If anything, I hate the US government. All right, the US government is not our friend. The US government is not our friend. If you missed this, okay, DT98. Looks like you were born in 1998. Okay, you know nothing. All right, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Let me show you something. Okay, let me show you something. D898. You were born in 1998. Let me show you something. What the US is doing. Snakes of America, okay, has sat idle since 2015, since they started compiling this data. Washington Post controls this data, okay, has this data, okay, that tracks police brutality, police murders, okay, police killings, okay, since 2015. Okay, last year alone, the United States police had killed 931 of its own citizens. Where they do that at in this world? Okay, you tell me. Okay, if anything, you should hate your own country. Okay, I do not live in the United States, so I do not hate the United States. Okay, I do not hate it. The only thing I hate about it is Australia is an ally to the United States, and my dad comes from the United States. Okay, my dad is American. That's about it. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's my tie. That's my tie with the US. I do not hate it. I do not hate Americans. Also, I'll be hating myself. Anyway, so you've seen it for yourself, okay? You've seen it for yourself. You should be hating your government for not doing anything about this. Okay, look at this. I'll show you the graph. Okay, nothing has changed. Okay, it keeps going up, incremental. Okay, if you know anything about graphs, it's not sloping down, it's peaking up, it's going up. It's stagnated. It's in the same vicinity, it's in the same limit. Okay, so 2008, 992 people were killed by police. 2019, 931 people were killed by police. Almost 1,000 people are killed, nearly 1,000 people are killed every year. I think in one particular year, it hit to 1,000. And this is a map of the United States where a lot of the police, this is California. I think since it would have been, so there's 3.35 shootings per million people. Is it every day? I'm not too sure, but look at this. This is sick. You guys live in a very toxic environment in the United States, and you need to accept it. And you need to do something about your government. It's toxic. The US government is toxic. Look at all these people being killed. Look at that. Look at Washington State. Look, 4.5. 3 shootings per 1 million people. Look at this. This is police shootings alone. Police shootings. So 130 police shootings in 2019 alone in California, killing, fatal shots, fatal killings by the U.S. police force. So you got to be kidding me, all right? You have to be kidding me. So yeah, and killing me. All right, family, I am gonna sign out. You live in Montana. Where is Montana? Montana is in California, isn't it? Yeah, Montana is in California, dude. California is a shithole. Yeah, Montana is in California. So, dude, you live in a shithole. Your president says Africa is a shithole, but look, this shit does not happen in Africa. At least Africans are smart enough not to be killing each other like that, right? The African government knows not to kill its own citizens in that sort, in that manner. But the US government, which you all praise, kills you at that rate every year. So where's China's stats? Okay, so I mean, you know, this is you're dodging. Okay, you're deflecting. Diamond shaped piss hole. You're deflecting here. Okay, we're talking about the U.S. We don't care about China. Okay, China is the least of our concerns. Okay, China is not the one attacking Iran. China is not the one bloody bombing Iran. Okay, so who cares about China? They're only doing business, and whatever they do with the people, China has 1.5 billion people. They need to call some of them. Okay, so if they're calling their people, I mean, 1.5 billion people, I mean, criminals are a waste of space. They need to be called. Okay, so yeah, I don't really support what China is doing, but you know, it's their government, it's their people. Whatever they do to their people, I don't give a hoots about it. Right. One thing I know is my country, Australia, does not do that. My country, Australia, my government would not sacrifice its own people and kill 931 of its citizens. It would be outrageous in Australia. All right, it will be outrageous. Our prime minister is under fire for even booking holidays. I mean, holiday flights to Hawaii during the bushfire season. He had to apologize for that. Okay, Australians nearly killed him for that. So, you know, we are by far better people, I would say. So, DT98, dude, you're a moron. Montana isn't in California. Go read. Goddamn. Okay, so tell me where Montana is. Let me know where Montana is. You can't call me you can't call me a moron just because I don't know anything. Well, I don't know that. So Montana is it Montana is a state? Look, I've got so much on my mind, all right? I've got so much on my mind. You can't criticize me like that. So Uncle Baby said, just wondering if you join ISIS, US government is not perfect, but compared to almost everywhere else in the world, it's superior. You are just too young and naive to know better. In a world, I'm a world traveler. Look, I've been to Japan 4 times, Mike. I was nearly going to Japan for a wedding in January, but I had to cancel it. I've been to Korea. I've been to Thailand. I've been to Cambodia. I've been to Mauritius. I've been to England. I've been to US. You know, I've traveled around. Okay, I've been to Singapore. I've been to where else have I been to? I've been to New Zealand. I've traveled, man. I've traveled the world myself. Okay, I have never seen it. Even in Thailand, I traveled a backpack through Asia by myself. I was safe. I was safe traveling through Japan. I was safe all by myself. I traveled the world. An Australian lady calls police for help and ends up dead, shot by the bloody police that came to help. We're talking about what's her name? Atatina Jefferson or whatever her name is. The black lady in her room shot by a police officer through the window. I mean, how safe is that? How safe is a country like that? So Australians fight with Americans when war comes. That's true. I stated that before because Australia is an ally to the US, and this is what I hate. Okay, this is what I hate. All right. Australia is indebted to America because the US came to save Australia from Japanese invasion. So, yeah. So yeah, you agree with me? Montana is a state, yeah. Because you spelled Montana with a small letter, that's why I got a bit confused. So, but yeah, I know Montana is a state. So let's see. So Montana is one of the most beautiful states. I actually thought Seattle was the most beautiful state, but Seattle, Washington, where Seattle is. Washington, I thought Washington was the most beautiful state, but evidently it's not. So yeah. Which is the safest state in the United States? Which is the safest? Looking at my map, I think it's North Dakota has no police data, 0 police shootings. Wyoming has 0 police shootings. Texas has 91 shootings, police shootings or police murders. Oklahoma has 34. Florida has 60. Look at New Jersey had 12 shootings, police killings. Maryland had 19 police brutality. I think Maine is pretty all right too. Maine is 2 shootings in 2019, police killings in 2019. But Georgia, man, Georgia's pretty safe. 35 police shootings. But gee whiz, Australia doesn't even get to that. Australia is about 5 police shootings, and an Australian police officer will only pull a gun to shoot you if you are threatening his life. Even you can have a fist fight with a police officer, Australian police officer, you will not get shot. I'm telling you, real facts. Real facts. You can literally have a fist fight with an Australian police officer, and you definitely get your ass whooped, but the Australian police officer is not going to pull out a gun and shoot you. And you definitely rot in jail as well. All right. But in the US, they will pull the gun and shoot you at even a sneeze, at a hiccup. Anyway, I've got to go, family. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming through. This is my first live stream for the year. I won't be doing much of this, but I just needed to speak on this. Okay. I would say that the world has dire, very, very dire problems, more dire problems than World War III. What we should be focusing on is the climate change, what's happening in Australia. Let it be, let it be the proof, okay, of what's happening or what is to come in the world. Okay, war against Iran will end in a few years, but you still have a dying planet that will never go away until everyone is dead on this planet. All right. We still have asteroids threatening to hit Earth any given time. Okay, asteroids that are 1,000 times stronger than any nuclear weapon we ever have can destroy the planet anytime. Okay, all our ice are melting. Iceland has no ice to its name anymore. Greenland is melting. Okay, don't be fooled by your cold snaps in the US. Okay, your winter storms in the US. Don't be fooled by that. Summer is coming, and you're gonna have more hot weather, which is gonna melt all the ice away in days. Okay, I mean, don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. Okay, so you're being distracted. Okay, I would say everyone is being distracted by the main issues that this world faces. Okay, global warming is the biggest threat to mankind, not World War III. All right, family, I will end it here. Okay, love one another. Okay, think before you act. Okay, education is always key. Liberation through education. Okay, get wise. Okay, do not follow the crowd. Okay, and watch 100. Okay, watch 100, the 100 on Netflix. Educate yourself. It's great. It's a great series. It will open your mind, and it will really literally get you to see exactly what's happening in this world right now. We're given a chance to survive, but human beings, being who they are, greedy, selfish, ignorant, foolish, will be at each other's neck and throats rather than working together to save one another. So Australia is expensive and a weak economy. Australia's economy is very strong. Australia has a very strong economy, but it's just that we're struggling at the moment. But Australia in 2010, Australia is the only country that did not go through recession. So mind you. All right. So until then, follow me. Okay, follow me on Instagram, Gibrano, and Instagram. Follow me on IG, Instagram, at Gibrano. Okay, do that. And also, let's see. Yeah, subscribe, like the stream, and until next time, we'll catch you, Anchor Baby. Of course, we're safe in Japan. Of course, you were safe in Japan, being New Zealand also, Fiji, Grand Caymans, Mexico, Cuba. I don't think Mexico is very safe. Cuba is all right, but Mexico is not safe. I don't think Mexico is safe. We've got Australians dying in Mexico. Yeah, but Japan is literally safe. You can sleep on the streets in Japan, like you are safe, like really, really safe, like SAFE. I mean, safe, right? Yeah, so New Zealand is safe too. Like New Zealand is this dopest country you can ever be in. Like New Zealand is so safe. Like I mean, the people are so cool. The people are so addictively safe and dope, and there's no place like New Zealand, like you know, it's so beautiful, such a beautiful country. Everyone's so laid back. Nobody's got issues in New Zealand. Best country in the world. All right. All right. Until next time. Okay. Peace, love, and one. All right. One. All right. Stay safe. To all Australians, stay safe. Do not breathe in the air, mate. Do not breathe in the air. Stay indoors. Do not burn anything. Do not do anything that would start the fires. I mean, do whatever is necessary to stay safe and help one another. Donate as well to help people in need, and people are doing it tough. Okay, help people out. Even $1 goes a long way in the bushfire appeal. So when you find any injured wildlife, save it, send it to the RSPCA or whatever. And do your best. Okay, do your best and be a fucking good citizen. All right. All right. Until next time, family. Peace.